Man, I just love to have a hit, right?
Oh, man.
You know?
You're going to have them, don't worry.
Charlie Daniels didn't have a hit until he was 40 with Devil Went Down to Georgia.
That's hard to believe.
That's true, dude. You look back at a lot of, like, the successful people. Well, not a lot of them, but a lot of them didn't get successful until they were up in their years.
True.
I figured the Lord knew that I couldn't handle success at my early age. Because if I'd have got everything I wanted when Halfway to Hazard was hitting pretty hard, I'd be dead right about now.
Yeah.
Old Dad would have shut her down. Number 2 would have been pumping mud and shut him down.
Been all she wrote.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Real strange. What you been doing?
Man, I was just over singing a vocal. Had to write today. And
Oh, did you write today?
yeah, man.
Must be nice.
Shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's part of the game.
Just out there writing.
Yeah, man.
hits.
You have to show up and pray for the best. That's what I do.
You got to hold on, don't you?
Yeah. Just show up, pray for the best.
Welcome to Twangtown. I am David Tolliver.
And I am Colt Mirsky.
Brewski.
And today we have with us Brice Long.
Thanks, fellas.
We have sound effects, Brice.
that
We're
was
high
some-
class.
That was some nice, crowd participation there.
Yeah. Everybody's really excited to see you today.
Can I take one of those with me? I'm gonna take those to my co-writes, and when I say something that I like, I'm gonna hit the,
Yeah.
right in the
There's
middle of
also a lot of
everybody.
these,
There you go.
or if someone spits out a really good line like David does all the time. There you go.
Asshole, I'm a good writer.
Y'all got the serious sound effects.
No, we got one more.
Should we hit it?
Got to.
Boom, boom, boom. Now let me hear you say, way-ho. I say boom, boom, boom. Now everybody say, way-ho.
Way-ho.
Oh my
I say boom,
gosh.
boom, boom. Now let me hear you say, way-ho.
That's it. You get all 4.
It's high tech, Brice.
It looks like it.
We are
You know?
we are right under Joe Rogan
I mean,
in this shit.
Move over, Joe Rogan.
I have
Twangtown's
seen
coming
Joe
in.
Rogan steal some of our bits, and it's ridiculous.
The smelling salts.
I don't know how he would do that though, because maybe his underlings are like, hey, there's these 2 guys in Nashville.
Yeah, they're just totally killing it.
Yeah, they're just slaying it with the 18 to 34-year-olds. So, another Kentucky
my
boy.
gosh. Yes, sir.
Born and raised in Hoptown, huh?
Yes, sir.
I've driven through there a few times.
Where is Hopkinsville?
West Kentucky.
Western.
It's right up there above Clarksville.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Close
not
to
far.
To the border.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah. Hour and 10, 15 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
So what were you doing in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, besides being born?
Man, working a lot
What'd you work up there
on the
doing?
farm.
Did you farm? Is that what
Oh,
you
hell
did
yeah,
growing
dude.
up?
A lot of tobacco, cattle, hay, all that kind of stuff. Man.
Yeah.
Lots of it.
Man, it's beautiful. I enjoy living in Tennessee and always and I've been in Tennessee longer than I
Me
lived
too.
in Kentucky.
Me
And
too.
yeah, same way with you, but it's just I'm something about Kentucky. It just I don't know. It just I'll never not call that home. Even though I've
man.
been here 30 years now.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Texas. Every time I go back, I just feel something. I don't know what it is. It's like, oh, yeah, this is home.
It's weird when I cross that line, I see blue.
Oh, man, me too.
Right?
I bleed it.
Oh, Daddy Bear.
believe
How
it.
excited are you right now?
Oh, man.
I am fired up.
I am too. I'm fired up because it's going to be tough, but I'm ready for the challenge coming Friday night.
So what's going on? I haven't been keeping
We
up with anything.
a team that we beat twice in the regular season. Their color is orange,
Yeah.
big orange, if you will.
Oh, Tennessee.
Yeah.
They're
So
a little, they're a little
swept
rocky
them.
on the top.
Yeah, I hate that song, and the fact that they played their first tournament games in Rupp, so that song was played in Rupp Arena, and it irks me to my
And they're
bones.
playing good, man. It's like they hit a little dip and then they came back and it's going to be a tough task, but I'm excited about
I
the
just
game.
hope that we're in their heads about beating them, They're a really good team.
They're great. Yeah,
They're-
very well
yeah.
coached. I mean, Barnes is
Rick
a
Barnes
beast.
is fabulous. I respect for Rick Barnes.
Me too.
I have no
Former
respect
Texas
for
coach.
Big time.
I have no respect for the school.
Yeah.
What round are they going into?
Sweet 16.
Okay. Like I said, I have not this year. I just have not kept up with it.
It's two teams, Tennessee and Florida. I mean, Louisville above all. I hate Tennessee and Florida.
What do you have against Louisville? They're from
It's
Kentucky.
that's
Oh
not
man,
Kentucky.
that's tough to
Thank
say.
you.
That's very tough to say.
Here's-
and hell, I married a gal that's a Louisville fan. Now, how smart am I?
Oh,
why
what
do you do that to yourself?
Man, I fell in love.
What is it you always say about Louisville? What would you do?
I would dam the Ohio River and run it under Louisville and give that shithole to Indiana. That's what I would do.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't.
Shithole.
We don't. I mean, we can't watch a game in the same room.
Oh,
Wow.
buddy. I don't know.
I mean,
That's
we
that
can't-
bad.
Yeah. Oh
You-
man, you can't.
You and
She's
Joe
very competitive.
have patience.
I do. I have a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm proud.
At times.
I'm proud of
At
you for your
times. Now I'm
patience.
gonna say at times. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna take
Buddy.
that all at like saying, yeah, I got it. No.
You don't understand the disdain that Kentucky fans have with Louisville fans, and vice versa.
I mean, I'm
Yes.
sure it's like Texas, Oklahoma, Texas,
Oh, it
Texas
is.
A&M.
It
you
is.
know.
Yeah.
well,
Let's say Texas A&M because in state,
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand the Aggies, and that's a whole different culture and weirdo people.
It's-
you know?
it's honest with us. I mean, I don't like Duke either.
I don't. Yeah.
You know, Florida,
Yeah.
Tennessee. I have respect for those teams because
Oh yeah, they're great.
Louisville have no respect for. And the city's terribly laid out. It's stupid. And the people are awful.
Look at Bryce. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, you know the best part of Louisville, I think, is a racetrack over there called Churchill Downs.
Yeah. Have you that place is kind of a shithole too.
Well, it's back. It's back. It's
back.
They've cleaned, yeah. I mean, it's pretty nice, man. They've done a lot of work over there, and they got it. Yeah, it looks fantastic.
I went.
But it is a place to. Holy crap, man! Being in there, Derby.
200 and something thousand
I mean,
people.
it's
We
tight
went-
as you can get standing in a place.
We went with Matthew Mitchell one year. It's the first time I'd never been to the Derby, and we went like 2015, I think it was. He was coach of UK at the time, Matthew
Oh,
Mitchell.
okay. I got you.
We took a bus up. Sam Bowie's daughter was on there. It was a good time right until the end of the race, and when at the last race, and everybody wanted to leave. And then it started pouring rain, and you try to wrangle because we took a bus up, not a bus, but like a passenger van bus,
Oh,
with the stripper poles in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And there was 20-some people on that bus. You try to wrangle 20 drunk idiots.
and
can't.
tired and wet,
And there's 200 and something thousand people trying
and
to
broke
leave
unless
this
they
place.
hit a couple races.
Yeah. Oh, I did not win anything. I had a little tie on, a little bow tie just around my neck. I don't know where it is now. I lost my
gone.
dignity. I lost my James. What's his name? Shit.
Otto.
I'm moving on. Wrote it.
Vincent Williams.
Vincent. D. Vincent.
Yeah.
Was with us on that trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost him too, and then we lost the person that went out to try to find him. I stayed on the bus.
Good times and great oldies.
It really was.
Yeah.
So, born in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. How long did you live there?
Oh, 20. Moved in 93. I was 21, I guess. So
You were 21 and 93.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I didn't know you were a little bit older than me.
Yeah, man.
Huh.
He looks better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look great compared
Thank
to me.
you, pal.
I need to shave.
Hey, Bryce looks like he's about 35.
he does.
How do you
I
do
like
that, man?
I don't know.
Do you like-
It's all that.
like cow udder oil you put on your face or something?
It's all that good Weller bourbon. That
How good is that stuff? I can't touch it anymore, but it was really good for a while.
yeah.
For a long
It
while.
turned all my good feelings into good feelings. I don't know.
It's good feelings into great feelings.
So farming, did you play music growing up?
Oh yeah, yeah, man. I mean, my dad's whole side of the family, played. My grandma played piano, and daddy played guitar, and great uncle played fiddle, and then everybody sang. Man, a lot of church singing, a lot of hymn singing.
Yeah.
Country music too. And we, growing up, music was anytime we'd get together, man, it all ended up around the piano,
Yeah.
singing. You know how it is.
Oh yeah.
Hymnals out and singing the old gospel hymns, and yeah. So, and then I started, you know, in high school, I, you know, was in the choir and stuff and show choir, all that kind of stuff. And then when I got out, I just started coming back and forth over here a lot.
Did you came to Nashville? It's not that far.
No. And, you know, would sit in over there at the Broken Spoke. Yeah. With bands and stuff and sing and this and that. And then I started getting gigs and started playing gigs. I, you know, opened for Freddie Fender and Razzie Bailey and Eddie Rabbit.
I was going to say, you ran around with Eddie Rabbit a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, I can't say I did a lot, but I played it's kind of how I got here and, you know, to come over here and actually try to do this. I was opening a show there at home for Eddie Rabbit. Alan Jackson was on it.
Really?
This was before here in the real world. They had Blue-Blooded Woman, Redneck Man was the first single they had out on him, you know, it really didn't do much. And then they did Here in the Real World. Then they went back and picked it up again and it was a hit. But Eddie was the main artist. You know, Alan was brand new at the time. But I met that night after I played, I met Clarence Spalding.
Another Kentucky boy.
Yep. And he gave me his card and said he wanted to, you know, he's like, hey, man, if you're serious about this, I'd like to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. I mean, you know, I just took the card and think nothing about it. And I went to the promoter of that show and I said, hey, man, you know this guy? And he looked at the, you know, card. And I think I still have it somewhere. You know, he was doing the day-to-day on Eddie then and still working with Exile and working. He was actually working for Stan Moressa's company. I said, yeah, man, I give him a call and my dad and I came over here, like Monday evening after that Saturday performance and Clarence took the time just to, sat with me and talked for about an hour and a half or something like that.
Such a good dude.
He's the best, man.
Yeah.
And I laugh. I say this all the time. I told him this too. I was like, I remember driving home, my dad and I, and you know, I'm 17 or whatever. I think 18 maybe. And Dad goes, well, what'd you think? And I said, I have never heard a man cuss that much. I mean, I remember that, you know, I mean, but Clarence, and, you know, they called him Wolf. That was his nickname, you know, and stuff. And he was just so brutally honest and legit and nice. And you know, it was a little while yet before I moved and I was playing shows and like I'd call him and say, hey man, you know, this promoter guy, is he cool to work for? Or, man, do you know this guy? And then he introduced me to a couple writers and stuff. And if I was anywhere close, he'd pop out, you know, if he could. And he did. And then finally, I remember I was cutting hay at home and this was back when, you know, you didn't have a you know, telephone or anything like that. So you were just run into the house and call, you know, and try to get him on the phone. And then I'd go back out and work and stuff. And then he would have called and left a message on the machine, you know, Clarence, call me back, blah, blah, blah. And then finally I get a hold of him and I was complaining about something. I don't know what I was complaining about, some show or something. And he just didn't know. He said, let me tell you this. And I said, what? And he said, Brice, there's not a record label head in this town going to drive to Kentucky and get you off that tractor and give you a record deal. He said, if you want one, get your ass over here. And he hung up on me.
Boom. Drop the mic.
Clarence could do that.
Yeah, and he did. And I was like, oh, okay.
It's going to be like that.
And then, you know.
Basically, I don't want to hear your shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Basically, we've been talking for the last 2.5 years and you ain't done nothing yet except play and keep doing what you're doing up there. So if you're serious about it, you know. And so anyway, thanks to Dad, I mean, he kind of set me down, said, you know, because I was roping and stuff a bunch and had, you know, really enjoying it, and I was winning, and you know, I had me a few cows and this and that, and I was like, I don't, you know, kind of want to, kind of don't, kind of enjoying, you know, making a little money. I was, single and young and still living at home. It's like, this ain't bad.
No.
But it's, it's like, well, something's got to change. And if you don't go now, you may never go.
Well, and
it's
the advice. I'm sure you've given it to a lot of people too, but people ask me or would ask, me and Chad when we're out on the road and playing shows, when coming to meet and greet line to be, what do I need to do? Like, well, what do you want to do? Like, I want to do what you do. I was like, well, you need to move where it is. I don't care where that is. Is it L.A.? Is it New York? Is it Atlanta? Is it Nashville? It's Nashville.
Step number
music.
one, man. You
got to go where it is.
Yep.
Because it's like you said, nobody's going to drive to Hazard, Kentucky to watch me play or to Hopkinsville to watch you play. They don't have to.
Right.
I remember Troy and Eddie had Sony drive to Lexington to watch them play.
Yeah.
But that was an anomaly. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, nowadays I bet it's even fewer and further between, labels going anywhere to see anybody.
Well, when we talked to Randy Montana the other day, he was talking about he had labels come to the frog pond down in Franklin. I was like, I can't believe they went that far.
Right.
Yeah. But it is if you want to do this, you have to go to where it is. And it's Nashville if it's country music. And obviously you did. When did you move here?
93.
Yeah.
January 7th, I think it was in 93.
And parents
I
were
finished,
good?
Yeah, I finished college, at Middle. I had been taking some courses and this and that too and all that time. And we had a community college that was close, so I'd drive and do that. And then finished down here and ended up interning over at Starstruck, man. I was making tape copies. I was a tape copy guy in the publishing company, man.
Dude, that is the oldest tale in this town.
That's true, man.
How many people started in a tape room when there used to be tape rooms?
Yeah, dude.
Yep, I did it and made a lot of them and met. That's where Wynn and I met. That's where Worley and I met.
How was it being Daryl Worley's roommate?
It was great, man.
Oh, wow. I didn't know y'all were roommates.
I absolutely adore
man.
that man.
5.5. We were roommates 5.5 years.
Wow.
Wynn and, of course, we hit it off fast. I mean, like I was making tape copies when Starstruck was over behind the fairgrounds. This was before the building, before the big building. And, And Daryl was coming back and forth from Fame and writing up here. He was signed at Fame and writing with, Mark Sanders over there and Wynn and different people. And I would make these tape copies and Daryl's voice would be on there. And I was just fell in love with his singing. I was like, who is this guy singing? And they said, oh, it's Daryl Worley, singing the vocal. And then, of course, when you make that many tape copies, you know what songs and stuff. And I had made up tapes of just Daryl's songs that I just kept in my truck, just to listen to.
That's
him
awesome.
sing.
Yeah.
And it's true. And when we met, he knew the Bigbies down in Alabama. They big ropers and stuff, their whole family. And I knew them from roping. And we kind of, got to talking about that and then kind of realized we knew some of the same people. And then when they gave me a deal at Starstruck, and Wynn and Daryl were living together at the time. They were roommates out in Hermitage at a townhouse, and I was in between places to stay, and I was telling Wynn, and he goes, man, just come over to the house when, we got a couple couches, and, just bunk out in there with us if you need a place, And I did for a while, and then, Wynn and Martha White got married, and I drove them to the wedding.
No shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
And when Wynn moved out, I moved in, and Daryl and I were roommates for a long time. And,
That's awesome.
But he was the best, man. I mean, he's like a
good dude.
brother.
Well, I remember when I moved to town, I worked at Applebee's in Hermitage out there beside the Lowe's.
Oh yeah.
And I was the smoking section, and I knew Daryl's music. I was a fan, and he came down. Him and his wife at the time came down and sat in my section, and I was a little starstruck. I walked up the table and I was like, blah, 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 and we got to talking. He goes, "You know who I am?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, I know who you are." Gave me his phone number and everything.
Wow.
Him,
We became friends. This is 1998.
That's him.
We became friends, and he, dude, that man. Every time we play Daisy, he cries his eyes out.
Really?
It doesn't matter where it is. All
That's
the
awesome.
shows you've done together, it all kills me. I'm like,
That's
buddy,
him, though, man.
he's such a good dude.
Yeah.
Man, I watched that guy. Of course, we'd go to the gym, work out, and he'd be writing, I'd be writing, and and we had a Tuesday night poker game every Tuesday. And there'd be everybody, popping in and out over there. Heck, we had 2 THP guys and a couple Nashville cops coming. I mean, we had,
Oh boy,
it was. We had a great time. It was a lot of fun. But man, I've watched Daryl, early on, and I mean, still to this day, I'm sure. But I remember going to we'd go into the Mexican restaurant over there, or we'd go to, we'd hit Subway or something going home, and somebody would sing.
Mm-hmm.
And, they may say, hey, my daughter, whatever. And, man, I've watched him go back in a place.
Yeah.
After they, come out to this, we didn't want to bother you. And he'd go, well, where are they at? And just turn around and go right back in
wow.
and sit down with them and talk. And,
He never got lost in it.
Never.
And always stayed
Never.
true to himself.
Absolutely. And he was that, like I said, he still is today, but he was that guy. And he, like he and Wynn, they were further along than I mean, they'd been here longer, and so I really, Tolliver, they got to having cuts and hits and stuff before me, but I really got to take it in. I got to watch them, and celebrate with them, and, and hear those songs before anybody heard them, before they got them cut, and, that kind of thing. I heard "Have You Forgotten" before, just sitting in the kitchen there, after they'd written it, and, but they were just good times, man.
Well, you got to watch them advance, and you knew it was possible, and they knew that it was possible for you.
Yeah,
and obviously it is. I mean, you've seen you evolve, and you've developed, and you're an amazingly talented person. I've never written with you.
Oh yeah,
we've been
buddy.
That's shocking.
for quite a while.
Wow.
Yeah, right. I don't know why.
Well,
probably should change it.
we probably know somebody that can solve that.
Yeah. So you worked at Starstruck. How long were you over there? They gave you a deal, yeah?
Yeah, I was there as a writer for 2 years, but I worked over there. God, man, I worked over there probably a year and a half in the tape copy room. I was doing other things too. Anybody, you had to do whatever. I was riding some Colts for a guy. I was doing different things, and
you still rodeoing?
Man, no, not like you used to.
Yeah.
I've had some neck issues that keep me from going.
I wonder why.
I love it. I still love it, man. I miss it every day, dude.
Well, we have mutual friends in the rodeo business.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, we're involved in a company called Say I Won't, and Brent Walker. Brent Walker was actually on Yellowstone.
Oh, cool.
And I did not know that until I was sitting there.
I didn't know it either till the other day.
I was watching Yellowstone, and I was like, "Are you? That's Brent Walker."
Yeah.
You can't. He's gorgeous. He's a beautiful man. I was like, and Jenna's like, "Who?" I'm like, "That guy right there on TV."
What character was he?
Remember the old dude that they cut the Y off of and killed him?
Yeah, vaguely. Yeah, it's
It
been a
was
while.
his sidekick.
Oh,
that
okay.
Rip knocked out by the fence line.
Gotcha.
That's He's a friend of ours.
Nice.
I was
Good guy,
texting him. I was like, "Are you on Yellowstone?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Holy shit!"
That California
That's awesome.
connection, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a good boy. That's a great company too. Knox and
Yep.
Brent, and they're just great people, man.
Knox was
some more great people, man.
He was an undersized quarterback and played at Vanderbilt. He one of them guys with the sloped shoulders. That he's a lot stronger than he looks.
Mm-hmm.
But the motto is behind it: "Say I won't, and I will." But that we wrote a song for it. It's been in a PBR, the Bull Riders Association. It's been their theme song and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's good times, Colt.
Great oldies.
Yeah, great oldies. So Starstruck, a couple years.
Yeah, and there again, getting signed over there was Clarence.
Yeah, he was an integral part of that.
I was I was in the tape copy deal there, and when they moved over to the new building, Wynn said it's the Marble Hay Barn. That's what he and Daryl called it. We went in there that first time to see it. They had everybody over and had all the people from the row over, and everybody would show off the new building and walk everybody around. And it is a beautiful building, man. They had the studios done, all that stuff, and me and Wynn we're standing downstairs in the garage where they was having the whatever food and drinks and all that stuff, and let everybody in, and Reba's dad was there. Some of her family had come in. I remember her dad and cowboy hat and stuff standing over there, and Wynn looked at me and he goes, man, I bet he's thinking, you know how much hay I can put in this barn? I thought, boy, you're about right, too. He said, could get a lot of hay in here, you know.
That Wynn, dude, he's got a different kind of mind.
He's the best. But Clarence was, it was right when they were first they did the first Brooks and Dunn Reba show, you know, tour together.
Yep.
And Clarence was coming in to that office over here, and I saw him walking up the sidewalk there, and so I went out and hollered at him and stuff, and he went straight upstairs, and he asked Narvel, he said, hey, you know that kid you got working and making tape copies down there? And Narvel goes, the Cowboy kid? And he goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, I know him, he's a good kid, you know, stuff. And he goes, have you ever heard him sing? And he went, no. He said, I didn't know. He goes, you ought to ask him, you ought to get to know him.
Ow.
And that was it.
That's
that was
huge.
And
Wow.
that was, Narvel, Jake LeGrone was working over there at the time, and Narvel asked Jake to come down, and we got to talking, and then I played them some songs, and then Mike Sebastian was working at the publishing company, and he asked me to come in and play some songs, and it was a little while yet, and I took a job, man, it was probably a couple, 3 months before, well, no, it's 3.5 months before they offered me a deal, but, cause I took a job with U.S. Tobacco. I was a sales rep for him.
Oh, wow.
Sure was. And I took that job, and Terry Hayes, love him to death, man. One of my favorite people I've met in this town. But he hired me, and I was 3 months into that. Had just made all the rounds and got my route and got it all figured out, and they turned me loose, you know, and gave me all my. Wynn said his favorite part of me working there was I could give him a sleeve of Copenhagen every week. Like, you know, we still sampled back then. You know, they'd have you sample and, you know, go to a grocery store, wherever you were set, you know, and they'd have you sample and stuff. And Wynn would call me and go, man, you got any of that fresh Copenhagen on that truck? And I said, yeah, I got some. He said, well, man, I'd love for you to get some more. And I was like, all right. So anyway, I did. But I'd been about 3 months, and they called me and offered me a writing deal, and Terry Hayes was my boss, and I went in there and talked to him. I was like, man, I know you just got me trained. I know that you went out on a limb to hire me. You know, I'm 24 and a half or 5 years old, whatever it was, one of the youngest guys I guess they probably hired as a sales rep. But I went in and talked to him. I said, man, this is the opportunity I've got. And I said, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You know, I mean, the comparable pay was
way
horrible.
Different. Yeah.
Oh,
it was awful. And, benefit, none of that. And it was like, man, I'm making decent pay here at this U.S. Tobacco Company and got good benefits and this and that. And I'm walking out of this deal into a, zero deal, but he was so cool to me. He said, Brice, just go home, pray about it. Whatever you decide, I'll back you on any of it. No,
that's awesome.
Yeah, he was great, man. And he's still a dear friend of mine, and comes out and watches me play and this and that, but just him and his family, they're just great people. And he gave, he was like, man, cause I was worried about, he had, like I said, he kind of stuck his neck out, and his boss above him, I thought, oh man, he's going to come down on him, and I was going to feel bad because they just got me trained, man, and just turned me loose. And I was gone, and then I was gone. But he was like, no, I'll take care of him. He said, if that's where the good Lord's leading you, you go do it. And,
dreams are a hard thing to pass up.
Yeah.
Really are.
Yeah.
Even for security and
Absolutely.
stability, and
It's a big
one
leap
of those.
of faith.
It's one of those things that if you didn't do it, you'd look back and for sure regret it.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you had so many things going for you at that time. You could not do it.
Yeah. It was, like you said, it's a chance, but it's a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. It's like, you can do it. And I was chasing that artist thing.
Yeah.
Colors, we all did.
Yeah.
Wanting the record deal. And then, but I was a couple years over there, and then they, my deal was up and they didn't re-sign me. And then I went on to a different thing. And then, how you bounce around and finally find a home. And I wrote for Scott Simon and Tim for a lot of years. And Scott got me a couple different record deals. And, neither one of them worked out worth a crap. But that's all right, man. The songwriting part's been, I never wanted to be famous. That part's working out really good.
That's fine. I didn't remember you writing for Tim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was over at RPM for
RPM.
probably 2000 to about.
I didn't realize McGraw was affiliated with RPM.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Scott Simon managed him, and still does.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, they had a pub company over there, RPM, and Norman was working over there, DeVasier, and he was the one that kind of got me over there and visit with me, and then Scott, and they signed me, and then Norman was gone, and Sam Ramage came over, and he worked there for a while, and yeah, it was a good little spot to to grow and learn, and I love Scott, man. He couldn't have been any better to me.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to work with Clarence in any
No, I didn't.
capacity?
That's the wildest thing.
It
Clarence,
is.
when I had my deal at RCA, I talked to Clarence, and I was like, man, what do you think? You think it? And he just looked at me and he goes, Brice, I'm not going to manage you because you want me to manage you. And I've got Ronnie and Kicks, and he had Aldine just starting, and he had Terry Clark, and he had all these people. And he was like, I don't have the time, and you ain't going to want somebody else in my office. You're going to want me. And he said, I can't do it, and I'm not going to do it. And then, so he was like, no, I'm not.
That's got to be tough to hear, especially when it's the guy who got you to town.
It was, but I understood it, man.
Sure, yeah.
He was, man. He's
looking back, you're like, oh
At
yeah,
least
thank
he
you
was
for
honest about it. It wasn't like I'll sign you and then just farm you off to somebody
and that's
else.
him, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to know what he's thinking, ask him.
Yeah.
Because Clarence is that guy. I mean, he ain't gonna, mince words or nothing else. He's gonna go, well, it's black or white, and that's where I'm at. And, if you don't like it, there's the door, and if you do, hang around.
It's got to be that Kentucky in him for sure. And, yeah.
No doubt.
When did you sign your deal at RCA?
I was there from 01 to 04.
Oh.
Yeah, I cut 18 songs over, and they never could find a first single.
Old Joe Galante.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did boot camp with Joe.
Yeah.
Delta in 2006.
Oh, cool.
He was a competitive little fella too.
Oh,
man.
yeah, man.
Man.
Yeah.
It's like,
He was very competitive in this town, especially.
Yeah, we'd work out together, and he had something to prove. I'm like, God, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you need to calm down a little bit. I ain't trying to throw up right now. Yeah, but I did throw up.
That's good.
Yeah, I remember you. I remember you on the label. I was a fan.
Oh, thanks,
man. You're a Kentucky boy.
Yeah.
I knew that. Like, yeah.
Man, just doing what you do, I mean, that's just it. And then I lost that deal in 04.
Well, sometimes things don't work out for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think
absolutely.
I think it's been fine for you since then.
Yeah, man. I've been very blessed, man. It's like, looking at it now, Tolliver, it's like, when you, I say this all the time, people ask you about it, and Hauser asked me about it one time. We was on the road writing, and I was on the bus with him, and he goes, man, do you ever think about, how it didn't work out? Does it ever bother you or anything like that? And I'm like, no, man, to be honest with you, when I'm out here writing with you on the road and 4 or 5 days, and then I get to go home and I don't have to get back on this thing and go right back out. I mean,
That's grueling.
It's a grueling grind. They earn every nickel they've ever made out there.
It's real fantasized, that whole road life, but you go out a week or two, and you'll change your tune real fast. I mean, you got to really want it to live that lifestyle, because it's not as glamorous as it's portrayed.
And I wanted it. I always wanted it. But man, now looking back, it's like, man, like I said, I've been extremely blessed and am thankful to have had what I've had and do. And now we get to, you get to feed that side of the artist thing, because I play a ton of writers' rounds and corporate things and all this kind of stuff all over. And you still get to feed that artist side of you, but you don't have to do it, which is a blessing.
It's a different type. I mean, again, we were blessed to do what we did when we did it back then, but it did. I remember one point just looking in the mirror. I got home. It had been on the road like 90 days straight. And I got home and I had 2 young kids and I was standing in my bathroom. I remember this just vividly, looking in the mirror. And I told we had done the ACMs, and I told one of our reps, it was like, man, he said, how you doing? I said, man, I'm just tired. I am just tired. It's all I said. I'm just tired. And I remember the head of our promotions, I won't say his name, called our manager, was like, does David want to do this anymore? He's like, is he giving up?
That's so crazy.
I was like, all I said was I'm tired.
Yeah.
And I remember standing in the mirror after that run and just looking in the mirror going, I envy Jeffrey Steele.
Yeah.
Because he had, Boy Howdy and that. He had one hit, maybe 2 hits. And then he started writing songs and was just cranking them out. And I was like, I kind of want to be him right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want this enough to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I kept doing it, of course, and still have at a level. But it's tough on a soul, man.
Man, it's that road life is, man.
Especially when you're first starting out, getting like hot deli trays. You're like, how long is this food?
Flat,
been sitting out
shiny
here?
meat, son.
Oh man.
Yeah,
It's the best barbecue you ever had in your life.
Not knowing when you're going to see your next bathroom or shower.
Oh, and you're on there, with just a ton of people. And
Yep.
If you're lucky enough to be in a bus, but it's, man, it's a grind, as you well know, man. I don't know.
What was the first song you ever had recorded by you or another? Was it you or did you have another?
No, I had my very first song was a song at Starstruck that Gary Allan cut. Song Wynn and Sean Campanide wrote called Sorry.
Really?
Yeah, that was my first major label cut. It was on the record with Smoke Rings in the Dark.
You sang backgrounds on Smoke
I
Rings,
did.
right, didn't you?
I love that song.
That's such a good song.
And I didn't even know you sang backgrounds on it till earlier. I was just kind of skimming through your bio, and I was like, holy crap.
I actually did not sing on Smoke Rings. I sang on Sorry and Cowboy Blues on that record.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Wikipedia's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were.
But still,
it was
that
that
album-
record. I mean, it was on that album. That was such a great album.
Great
Man.
album.
Good.
Man, it's those
Gary
Harley
was
songs are
badass,
on there.
man.
Yeah, man.
He had style.
There
I
was
loved Gary
a
Allan.
time he was top of the food chain as far as cool, cutting great songs,
exactly.
making great records.
Exactly.
So
he
cool.
had it all. He
He had the
had it
tats,
all.
the look. He
yeah.
was cool.
He did,
cool
man.
country, you
and
know?
he was. I mean, he's just a cool dude. He still is.
Surfer.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He
This
had
dude's everything.
Yeah.
He's like
He
the
had,
Philip Lammons of,
Yeah.
You got the ass Philip got there.
few do, Tolliver. Few do.
Buddy, that thing
You
comes
do.
in the room
Oh,
before
gosh,
he does, don't it?
Yeah.
I love that man.
Oh, he's the best.
Well, we were writing the other day, and there's a couple other people in there, and Philip had canceled, and then he got back in with us, and he called me in the writing. And I told the guys, I was like, they didn't know him. And I said, you just wait and look at his ass. They're like, we don't know what you're talking about. And I said, just wait. He brought that thing twaddling in, and then boys
gosh,
lost
that's
it.
hilarious.
They were like, yep, we see it.
Oh, that's so good.
Most interesting man in the world right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's man. I ain't real sure there's anything he can't do.
I know. And if he doesn't know how to do it, he'll figure it out real
I'm
fast.
so jealous of that dude.
Yeah.
It's like he's a falconer and a classically trained chef and
And a fly fisherman that's
world-renowned
amazing.
fly
Yeah.
fisherman.
And picks good and writes good. I mean, he's
He telepathic communicates with dogs. I think
I think
he'll look
he
at
does,
Muddy
too.
and be like, and the
Yeah.
Muddy will do exactly what he wants him to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Muddy's his dog, by the way. If y'all,
Yeah.
Hunter,
Yeah, talented
it's
cat.
unreal.
Yeah, he's like a jack of all trades, but
Master,
a master
of
of all
none.
of them.
He's a jack of all trades and a master of none.
Yeah.
He's great at all things.
Yeah.
But he's a master of none.
Yeah,
I like to say that.
Shout out Philip.
I love him.
Philip,
And their
Good
family
Lord.
too, man.
What
I
was-
love their whole family. They're such good people.
I loved Anything Goes when Randy
thanks,
man.
man.
put that out. I was like, this song is
Yeah,
a
huge.
monster. What was that? The first big song for you? Was that your first?
No, I had nothing on but the radio first.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Come on.
And I had a song that my very first single was a song called "Cool" that was on Michael Montgomery. Harley and I had written together.
Harley Allan?
Yeah, off his greatest hits record. Yeah.
You mind if I smoke in the Bluebird?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, just light up cigarettes in the Bluebird, dude.
Well,
You can do it.
well, shit, Brice, what you got today? What you gonna say? You gonna say anything good over there? Or you just gonna sit there all day? I mean, damn.
Tell me if you're not like this. I miss those old dudes so much.
Man,
Oh,
I miss
yeah.
them every day.
Harley and Guy Clark. And
I miss them every day, man.
You know, we still got a few running around here.
Oh,
you
my
know,
gosh,
Aaron and them boys, but them dudes will school you.
Oh,
yeah.
man, I miss them. Wayne Carson was a dear friend of mine and took me in, you know. Wrote Always on My Mind in the letter. And I was a big fan of him because I was a huge Gary Stewart fan.
Yeah.
And he wrote, you know, Whiskey Trip, Drinking Things, She's Acting Single, I'm Drinking Doubles. He had written all those hits. And oddly enough, Scott Simon's dad, Cy, was his publisher.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, so I was in talking about those old guys, Tolliver. I was in Scott's office one day and we were talking and he goes, is there any old writers you want to write with? Any legendary guys that you know? And I was like, yeah, man. I said, actually, there's a guy named Wayne Carson that wrote, and Scott just kind of looked at me. He didn't say anything. And I was like, man, he wrote this, and that, and this, and that, this. And Scott just sat there. And then finally, when I was done with my spiel, he went, yeah, he goes, I've known him all my life. He said, Dad was his publisher. And I went, wow, you got to be kidding me. And he goes, no. And he just reached for the phone and dialed his number and hit the speaker. And of course, Wayne, picked up and he's like, I got this young man in here that's a huge fan of yours and wants to write with you. And Wayne said, well, yeah, I'd love to. I'll come down. Wayne did. He's like, I'll come down tomorrow. And he goes, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, waiting on you. And I already had a ride or whatever. I was like, man, cancel them. As quick, Yeah. And so we wrote that first day. And then he, I remember right before he left, he wrote his number down on this piece of paper and handed it to me. He goes, put that in your phone and under WC. Don't put my name in there in case somebody finds your phone. I don't have my number.
That's hilarious.
Put that in your phone under WC. That's what he said.
WC.
And then, from then on, man, it was hell every day, man. I think he had a house out on golf course out there, Harpeth Hills. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? I can't remember.
That's a golf course.
Yeah, that's one.
So he had a house out there, and man, I'd go out there just about every day, and just sat with him. We rode a ton, and I'd just hang out, and he'd tell stories, and he'd be smoking them cigarello things, and no kidding, Tyler, he had golf on the TV right in front of him, big screen TV. Now this was sitting on the porch. The pool was behind him, and he had a cover over his porch and had a big screen TV sitting there and have golf on. He had a cooler right beside him, one of those, about this tall that held about a case of Miller Lights, and that's all it would hold, and shut the door. And he would have that, and he would have a jug of Pop-Off vodka sitting right beside it. And he would sit out there, and he'd smoke that cigarillo, and he'd pop him put him some salt all the way around the rim of that Miller Lite, and then he'd pop the top, and he'd set it there, and we'd be talking and stuff, and he'd drink that beer, and then every now and then he'd reach over, and he had him a little shot glass by that Pop-Off vodka, and he'd pour him a shot of vodka and set it back down. He'd shoot it, and then we'd go back to talking and doing whatever we was doing, and then hell, every now and then he'd just get up and fall off in that pool and come back out and sit right down there. And it was golf, and if it wasn't golf, it was a sci-fi channel.
Wow!
And that's the two. It was every day, and he would always, it'd be late at night, and I'd leave, and he'd go, "Well, what are you doing tomorrow?" I said, "Well, I got to ride." So he goes, "Well, I'll be here. I'll be right here when you come back."
Wow!
And I'd come back, and he'd be right there.
That's so cool.
It was the best, man.
It was a hell of a routine he had there.
He had it down to a science. Those old guys, man, they knew how to do it.
Yeah.
And
they did it well, and they did it their way, and they would tell you exactly
They wanted you to know they did
Yeah.
it well, and they knew how to do it.
How old was he at the time when y'all were hanging out a lot like that?
Gosh, let's see. He was 60, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like that. He passed when he was 71, I think, maybe. Wow. I don't know. I have to look it up for sure, but yeah, I was.
That's crazy.
He asked me to sing "Always on My Mind" at his funeral. I was
Really?
the only person he asked to sing. Man, he's like, I don't.
Good Lord.
I was went to see him at hospice. I'd go every day while he was in there, and he, couple 3 days before he passed, he said, "Oh, I need a favor." I was like, "Yeah, bruh." He used to call me. He go, "Bruh, I need a favor." I'd say,
He said "bruh" before it was a thing.
Yeah. I said, "Yeah, bruh, what you need?" And he said, "I need you to do me a favor." And I was like, "All right." And he said, "I want you to sing Always on My Mind at my funeral." He goes, "I don't want any other music except you to sing that song."
Wow.
And
That had to have been hard to receive.
I was like, "Really?" And he said, "Yep, that's all I want."
Man.
Yeah.
How'd you get through that?
It was tough. I cried through it. I ain't gonna lie about it.
Jesus.
Buddy,
I did. Cried all the way through it.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Couldn't. I've sang at funerals, people I didn't know and cried.
Yeah.
Can't imagine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't imagine doing
Sad,
that.
man. It's sad,
Yeah.
sad stuff.
It's nice. I mean, I've got to meet some of my heroes, and most of them didn't disappoint.
Yeah.
Most of them have been the people that I thought they were. Most of them have been the older guys.
Yeah.
I've met a few new ones that I didn't care for, but most of the guys that
Who are one or two of the guys you're talking about? Who are one or two of the guys
Tim
you're
McGraw's
talking
a
about?
terrible person. I hate him.
Well, I don't mean the bad guys. I mean the good
Okay. What? No,
We know you don't like Tim.
No, I'm just joking. Tim, the Garth was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Kent Blasey
Can't,
was a great dude.
One of the best.
Still is a great dude.
One of the best ever.
I've never wanted a burrito that was just beans and cheese more in my life. He would make these burritos and
pretty awesome.
with this special cheese, and I could never recreate it at the house because it had to be Kent's house.
Yep.
And Kent had
His
to make
hot
them.
dogs are famous too.
Yeah.
He's got
He
a
makes
good
a good
wiener.
hot dog.
Nice.
We would write a song. He would make make lunch.
That was
and then write another song. That was the
the
drill.
deal.
That's the drill.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, what a
There's
sweetheart.
just not a lot of that anymore.
Yeah.
No, those guys, I mean, which I know we all talk about it. We were lucky.
Shoot, yeah.
Very lucky to come here at the time we did and be around all the legends that, I feel the same about Dean. I felt the same about Harley.
So Lord Dean Dillon, good Lord.
Yeah. I mean, they're
Still
just
a walking legend, that
Yeah.
guy.
I've
Sweet,
had some
sweet
good
people.
conversations with that dude.
Oh my gosh. Arata. I mean, I'm just trying to think of people that you just, just beautiful human beings that you're thankful to.
What about that guy, Costas? Remember, he was
the best.
like I'd seen him here and there
The
at like
best.
different
I
functions.
still
but
sing from time to time when I'm in Montana.
yeah, he was in Montana when we went up there
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
He's the
and
best. Man.
He's an interesting cat, man.
He played Dave's guitar, and he's like, "What song did he play on your guitar?"
The 1,000 Miles from Nowhere. Was that?
Yeah.
Ain't that? Was it
Ain't
1,000
That
Miles?
Lonely
Ain't
Yet.
that lonely yet?
yeah. And then there was another song.
I lost it.
It was a song that a woman sang.
Patty Loveless.
Patty
Yeah.
Loveless. Yeah.
What was it?
Cold Street.
Because you're like, he played these two songs on my guitar. I don't know
What
if I
Mean
can-
Mistreating Love and Heart? Was no, it was.
Iron beating, cold dead beating music. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he wrote
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I should know that, man. You get away from all. I mean,
I didn't want to wash my guitar anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Costas, I've been around a
Beautiful
lot of
man.
different songwriters in my time, and he's got to be one of the most eccentric, but like sweetheart people I've ever been around.
no doubt.
Like he's one of those guys I haven't really interacted with him, but I've just watched him all, and I'm like, I don't know how do you deal with someone
there-
like that.
th-
He's just
her-
so different.
A guy like that, a lot of people will put on. It's like my grandpa. He's putting it on. You know.
Right.
That
No,
dude
he's
ain't
not.
putting nothing
That's
on.
just him.
That's exactly who he is down to his core.
No doubt.
And he don't. It's not like he's trying to do
No,
that.
that's just
That's
him.
just how he is.
That's why I'm like, I don't know how to approach you. It's
Like I couldn't be roommates.
I don't know
with
how to
him.
talk
Yeah.
to you because you're so different.
I couldn't live with him. You
No.
know. I bet he don't keep his kitchen the same way I do, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, he probably leaves dishes in the sink. He probably just buys new dishes and throws them away. I don't know.
Yeah. He
But
could.
that dude is
A timber.
I don't think
honest.
he's ever thrown
timber.
anything away.
That's what it was. Timber.
Oh yeah.
I'm falling.
He had
in
2 or 3
love.
of those Patty hits,
Yeah.
though, man. He
Yeah.
was, yeah.
I was surprised. It was. I mean, you sit there and I'm playing my little piddly songs, and he's getting up there and playing his stuff.
Classics.
Here's a
man.
Brantley Gilbert for you.
Yeah.
Gonna match right up with Timber.
Yeah.
You know. Oh shit. Oh,
What a great guy, man.
you had a dude, one of Jon Pardi, one of my favorite songs of his. How'd that come about?
Oh, man, Heartache.
Yeah,
Heartache on the
we were
dance
on the
floor.
that's
bus.
so good.
Yeah, we were on the bus. I got lucky and met, John's still, he's one of my best buds. But I got lucky and met him before he got his record deal and stuff. So I'm, not long, I guess.
Yeah.
After he'd been to town, he'd probably been here a little while, and man, we hit it off fast. And
You two guys are kind of cut from the same cloth a little bit.
yeah, and John's, he's a hard worker, man, and a talented dude.
Yeah, dude.
He's so talented and got his, Gary was that way, had their own thing. It was just very distinct, very,
Unique,
you knew as
for
soon,
sure.
as soon as you hear them sing, as soon as you hear the record,
Yep.
you know it's them. And John had that same thing and still does. And we had, I wrote a song with him and Bart called Picking Up What I Can't Put Down on the first record that was a single. And then we just got on a bus and rode with him. I went out and went to just hanging out, and then we went to Texas a few times, and he loves team roping too, and so I would go down there. He had some friends down there, and I'd go down there and rope with them and hang out, and we'd write songs. But that song, we wrote it on a bus leaving. He had played a festival in Wichita or Kansas, somewhere right outside of there, and John got on and he walked on the bus and sang. He sang, "Where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at tonight? Where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at tonight?" And I was like, "What is that?" And he goes, "Man, I don't, he says, it's the idea I got." And so then he went and did his show. And when he got back on the bus, man, we wrote that song and All Time High the same night.
Oh, wow.
We had 2 bottles of Caymus red wine, and we wrote it. I took that wine out there, man, and because I love it. And we wrote those 2 songs back to back, cut them both on the Cowboy.
Heartache's melody and meter is just so damn catchy.
Well, and that's, John's great at that, man.
Yeah.
What John does, that's the thing that I've, I love about him is melodies, melodic things for John are where he separates himself from everybody else. Man.
Yeah.
When he, the way he phrases and the way he sings and his melodies when he writes and stuff, man, they're hard to, they're just hard to do without him. He's got a thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's truly a thing, Head Over Boots, that same, I want to sweep you off your feet tonight.
Yes.
Luke and him, Luke Laird, who's an amazing writer, they wrote it, but man, Rhett and I, Luke and I, we've all talked about it. It's like, man, it's hard to do what John does if John ain't in the room.
Yeah.
We've all had outside cuts on John that we didn't write with him, but man, when he stamps something for what it is, and that's, man, the truth of that deal is that Heartache is Jon Pardi. That's his phrasing, melody. He's
It's
driving
a
the
distinctive
ship.
artist thing for sure.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's what he does, and he's so good at it, man.
Nice. That's good
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the room. I wasn't on the bus when you wrote it, so that's good to know, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. He's a stud, man, when it comes to that thing. John just knows. He knows what he wants.
Yeah.
And that, as well as I do, man. When you're writing with an artist and they know what they want and they know who they are and they know, then that just makes it so much easier.
It
It's
comes
not
from
like
place.
it's ever easy.
No.
But that part of it makes it easier.
It's an honest place that it
Yeah.
comes from and translates in people.
Yeah.
People hear that honesty. They
And
feel the honesty.
He's
from
going to
it.
know what he wants to say, and you
Yeah.
ain't going to talk him into saying something he don't want to.
That's an art. That's what an artist
Yeah.
does.
I
That's what
mean-
an artist should do.
Yeah, we just, I just said, hey, man, we're going to have to come up with a story around this chick that, Heartache on the dance floor was going, and we did. We did it that night.
Yeah.
And but that, he, like I said, the where's she at thing, man, he had it. He was singing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. What do you got working on right now? You excited about?
Oh man, well, we're 2 weeks away from John's new record coming out.
I mean,
and
you got
it's
a few on that,
I got
do you?
2 on it. Yeah, I'm
Hell
excited
yeah.
about it, man. And he went a different direction. He's got Jay Joyce producing, and this record sounds phenomenal, man.
Well, Jay's not bad.
No,
He's all right.
Yeah.
He is amazing, and it sounds phenomenal. I mean,
Nice.
he's cut some really great songs, and Jon, man, he's singing probably better than I've heard him sing in a long time on this record.
Yeah.
It's really good, and I think people are going to be blown away with it because it's really good. It's kind of a little bit of a new taste to him, but it's really good. And he kind of Ann-Art it himself, and just he's the driving ship behind that thing, and
Yeah.
it's good, man. I'll have to say it's really good. And Jay, like you said, he's a brilliant.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what the two of them came up
Yes.
with. I bet
It's
it really is cool.
It's
Yeah.
very, very unique and very cool. And I mean, it's still Jon fiddling steel all over it, and his twangy country singing ash. It was it's so good, man.
He's
But it's
distinctive,
gritty.
man.
Oh, yeah.
It's gritty, and it's just good, man. It's just really good music, and he's just a good dude, man.
Nice.
He's been good to me, and
We're happy for
he's
you.
like
dude.
a
Yeah, dude.
brother.
I've known you for a while, and I'm just very happy for all your success.
Thanks, man.
And so, eventually, we will get in a
Oh, yeah.
room together and make something up.
Well, now that I know
Absolutely.
if this is a thing or not a thing,
Oh, Bryce and I have known each other
this
for a
forever.
while.
browbeat
Yeah,
Bryce
long
till he
time.
says yes.
We see each other maybe
No.
twice a year.
Yeah, if we're lucky.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's we all, the new artists, you pretty much get in a room with all of them.
Yeah.
At some point, everybody's making a record and they're like, hey, you write with this and that and whatever. But there's, there's a couple, there's a lot really that I'm excited about. I'm not involved with Zach Top at all, but I love what that kid does.
Yeah, dude,
me
man.
too.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that
gosh,
song,
man.
Carson, I Never Lie,
killed it. Oh,
killer song.
man, he wrote a song with Bad Luck. Him and Nestler and Carson wrote a
Mark's
song.
great.
And it's so good, man. It's so freaking good. But he's great, and but there's a couple like William Beckman. He's a Warner Brothers Texas artist. It's God,
Yeah, he's
man.
cool.
He cut I wrote the first thing that they put out on him with him, but he cut an old song of me and Stapleton's called Honky Tonk Blue that just came out a couple weeks ago, and it's 19 years old.
Wow.
We
That's
wrote
incredible.
it in 06. We wrote it in 06.
Sometimes that happens.
Which,
Yeah,
where were you writing
lucky.
that when you wrote that song?
I was writing for Scott and then with
Scott.
RPM. Yeah.
Nice.
And
That's a nice
Braxton
little bonus,
Keith, he's
right?
another Texas guy that's me, man. I love country music.
Yeah.
And those guys and girls that May Estes, man, what a great country singer.
I feel like we've got a resurgence and
it's coming. Yeah.
good group that's
we got a
coming in.
really good group. If they'll let them get established in this town, we're gonna take it back. man.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Truly,
feel
we'll
like
take it
it's there's a resurgence of what we were
Yes.
steeped on.
Yes.
Steeped on.
Yes.
Raised on.
Yes.
And I feel like it's an exciting time in
It
country
really
music.
is, man. And if we can get, a few more of the, country, like the Zach Tops and the, May Estes, like I said, great country singing female over at Borchett and them's label. And man, there's just some, 90s country music was top of the food. It
Yeah, man.
was
Oh, yeah.
as good as it got.
So impactful.
And there's a lot of these young artists in town that absolutely love it.
They were raised
yeah.
right.
Live, eat, and breathe it, And if we can, man, we just need a few more of these to pop like that, and then this thing will be, then we can hitch our
I feel like
wagon
we
up
could
and
write
get-
that.
Oh,
I feel like I could write some
oh,
90s country.
I guarantee
Oh, yeah.
you.
Golly.
Bring it on, Hoss.
Woo, Daddy Bear.
Bring it on. Yeah.
I'm so excited right
Me
now.
too.
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
Me
It's great
too.
stuff.
Yeah, dude. Have you ever been involved in or ever spun a wheel of shame in your life?
I don't think so.
I think you probably should.
Really?
Well, there's the first time for everything, Bryce. So
You're not going to know what these are.
it's all in code.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to spin it.
Yeah.
That way you don't know exactly what you're getting into.
And we're probably going to have you change it and do something else.
I know it's not all.
It's we got to update this.
I know it's
What's
been
the
like
spinning thing in the middle? It looks like it's one of those on the movie where it
to
takes you down
hypnotize
the dream, like Gilligan's Island, and that thing was spinning. You remember?
Yeah.
And then he drifted off. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What'd you land on?
if you can read my handwriting.
What is that? Pinche
Pandeo.
You're going to have to spin it again.
Pinche
We really got to
Pandeo.
get rid of that one.
We got to get rid of that.
We're out of the stuff for that one.
You just said
Bummer.
You just said a bad curse word.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, how's your Spanish?
it's not very
I
good.
love how Randy was like, that's what all the guys in the Mexican restaurant used to call me.
Now this time it says 999.
Are you a drinking guy, Brice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well. Oh.
I did wash the glass.
999.
9999999.
You ever done this before?
What is that?
Oh.
Oh,
Have you ever had real strong mouthwash?
no, I've never.
Yeah. You need some help there, Daddy?
You got anything that's good?
He won't like that. It's
Yeah.
awful.
I mean, we're both from Kentucky. I mean, you got anything really good? Because I don't like to drink.
Oh, see, you said Kentucky and he pulled out Jack
Yeah.
Daniels.
I said Kentucky, and he straight up just now we're talking. Yeah, let's go that direction. Yeah, no, let's go that direction. It is definitely not the same thing. It's a Yeah,
I mean,
but that's
technically,
a
Jack
different-
Daniels is owned by a Kentucky company.
Well, yeah,
Brown Foreman.
and they send it down there.
Yeah.
Have you had the Sinatra?
Yeah,
Okay, so you know what
of course I have.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do something, start at the top. Yes, sir.
High class cowboy.
I ain't drinking cheap bourbon or cheap wine.
I even got you a Lucan box.
Oh man, look at there. I'm liable to leave here with this. So what do we do? Just 9 it up.
Cheers, amigo.
All right. God bless you.
And then we have one more thing. It's become quite the initiation.
Isn't that so good? There's no burn on the Sinatra.
I know it's so tasty.
Yeah. If
I haven't
only,
had that in a long time.
if only it was raised in,
That's good, man.
Yes, sir.
you know.
That is good. That's exactly how I remember it.
We have one more thing
Yeah,
that we
so
want you to do.
we have our official Twangtown initiation.
Okay.
What I have here is a bottle of Atomic Rhino smelling salts.
I'm sure you've fallen off a horse or a bull. And,
Have you ever done smelling salts?
No, I haven't.
oh,
All right,
boy.
so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lid off. You're going to hold the bottle right here at your chin
I smell that
and
all
give it
the way
a proper
over here.
man sniff.
Okay.
Don't chicken out on me.
All right.
I don't think Brice is going to chicken out anything.
Right here?
Yep, sniff. He sees Jesus, hands went in the air.
Holy smoke. Man.
You tried
Whoa.
your hardest to shake it off.
You did well for a second.
Whoa. Man, I thought a lot of horseradish was something. But holy smokes.
Right?
It's so good.
Wow.
It's,
I've never done that before.
yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
never do it again.
No.
You don't want a round two?
No, I'm out.
We've almost killed people, and we've had people that just sit there and just sniff it constantly.
Really?
You ever written
Jared
with
Mullins?
Jared Mullins?
I don't think so.
He's a psychopath.
Yeah, he
Yeah, I
sniffed it.
I don't think I
He's
He sniffed it. Nothing. Did it again. Nothing. He's like, "What's the big deal?" And I got mad and I threw away the bottle and opened a brand new one because
Yeah.
over
You thought
time it loses its potency. Brand new bottle. He's like,
Man, that Sinatra was good.
"Yeah, right."
I'm just letting
You're
you
just
know that was
serious.
pretty good.
dude. We're proud of you. We're happy for you.
Thanks, Tom.
We consider you a
Appreciate
brother,
you,
and,
pal.
Yeah,
and
dude.
man.
Thank you so much for coming on.
it's always
Absolutely,
nice
man.
to see
Sorry,
Kentucky people do well.
I know I looked at that. I told you I looked at it and then I just forgot about it and then I went and I was like, oh gosh, I didn't hit Colt back. I got to do it. So thank y'all for
good.
asking me, man.
Dude,
I'll
absolutely.
Come over here and visit with you, man.
Absolutely, come back anytime.
Yeah, appreciate you, pal.
Appreciate
Both of
you, man.
Thank you so much.
Colt,
Yes, sir.
tell them what to do, man.
Yeah, man. So we are available on all streaming platforms.
Everywhere.
You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Subscribe.
Rate, like, subscribe, follow,
Donate.
comment.
Send us money.
Yes.
I got kids in private
Advertise.
school.
And then go find every one of Bryce's songs and
Yes.
stream them
Oh,
nonstop.
please. I got some stuff coming out, though. No kidding, man.
When?
I forgot to. I don't know. This
you
year.
got to tell us
This
Plug
year.
it, baby. Plug it.
It's, well, I haven't done anything, like for myself in a lot of years. And Carrie,
need to.
my wife was just, she's like, oh, I want you to do it. You got to do it. And then you play all these shows and people ask you about it. And it's, how it is,
Yep.
man. I mean, once you kind of get out of that headspace, Tolliver, and you'll know what I'm saying. It's like
understand.
you get out of that artist headspace and you start writing songs and you're just trying to facilitate as much as you can in
Yep.
town to try to help every artist that you get in the room with and other writers. You're just trying to figure out how to write something, to be on somebody else's stuff. And then, so I just recently went in and cut 8 new things,
Dude.
and probably will do 2 or 3 more. But just to have something out, and hopefully, I talked to Tom Douglas about it, and Tom was like, Brice, just make a record. He said, what'll happen is, you'll have something that'll be out, and some artist will hear something, and they'll cut
True.
this and
That's
that.
it.
And,
That is it.
and man, it was fun. I mean, we went in, tracked, and had a great time. And I've been singing these vocals and trying to get them like I want them, and all that kind of stuff. But it's cool, man. It's been fun. It's some songs that, some songs that just kind of haven't been cut by anybody, and some things that I just really felt like were me, and yeah, it's been fun, man. It's been a cool little thing to do.
Dude,
and
good for you.
And it'll come out this year. I mean, we're going to release.
We got to come back on
things.
it when it comes out.
Yeah, man,
We'll
I'd
talk
love
about
to.
some more.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We'll reminisce about reminiscing.
You
That'd
can
be
do
great.
some more smelling salts,
Yeah.
too.
I'm going to pass on that. Holy smokes. But you can go ahead and get a new bottle of Sinatra, because I could tell you're kind of at the bottom of that one. So
Yeah.
when I come back, I want to. Or hell, I may just bring y'all a bottle of Weller. Or
Weller's
something when I come
Weller's
back.
much better, I think. No.
We're never going to
Unless-
turn down good whiskey
Unless
or
we get
bourbon.
sponsored by Jack Daniels in the meantime.
Yeah.
We're working on that.
Working on it. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
We'll talk to y'all next time.
Thank y'all.
Bye, everybody.